Zog Zog, big and small mechs. As you know, the All Hallows Eve is actually somewhat connected with passing of our friends and generally passing. I want to do something for a poor friend that died. Yeah, so in here, is a friend, long-term friend of mine, who spent with me countless hours fighting different fights. But unfortunately, some time ago, he just went poof. Like it's happened to all of us. Yeah, sooner or later. So instead of just throwing him away, I decided to add him to my scrap pile. So, since we are doing this entire Orktober thingy again, yeah, I decided to revive at least his shell as part of my speed mob. So let's just get on the table and start tearing him apart and building him anew. Well, as you can see, my friends, the subject of my work today is my old mouse. This mouse spent with me about 15 years, yeah. I have different ones in between that time, but every time that the other ones was breaking, this one was my savior. I don't know how disgusting it look inside, but it's quite possible they look very disgusting inside, so be prepared. But let's just pull it apart, yeah, and we're gonna make a part of the speed mob out of this mouse. So yeah, and I'm not doing the entire voiceover with my orky voice because it's gonna kill my throat, and I have to go to work tomorrow. So let's see. There we go. Oh, so you see, there is a lot of little screws holding little different things inside. That's okay. Let's get rid of this, and we're gonna unscrew that. Maybe we're gonna use it later on something different. Yeah, you know that I always keep all of the little knobs and bobs that I find in electronics to use in my random builds. So there we go, there we go. Come on, what is there still holding? That's the wire. There we go. So we have this removed, and there is a block of metal in here. We don't need that, we want this to be lighter. Perfect. Okay. So I'll just put this to the side and put that back together. Of course, there's gonna be the scroll wheel missing, but that's not a problem in this particular situation. Yeah, we're just gonna be putting the speed mouse back together. So I did actually prepare for this build. Oh, there we go. My battle squig, yeah, orange one, started just saying that he's ready for battle as well. Yep, come on. So there is really not much to this conversion. I did actually plan it up for a change. And because of that, I actually have pieces prepared for it, which is something new for me, yeah? And it's gonna be as well kind of new experience for you. So I have legs. I printed out grand total of 6 of those. And of course, I did get a turret, which gonna be here. Yeah, my speed mob needs some heavy support, and a good looking heavy turret would work for that. Of course, I think that this part of Spinny, if I take it out, then I'm gonna be able to cut out the bottom of it and have it sitting much better on top of the mouse. And as you can see, this mouse have a lot of use in it. It spends some sweet time with me. So we're gonna have 2 in here, 2 in here, and 2 on the back. Of course, I'm gonna have to cut those pistons because they do not really work. Then it should be a very simple assembly. So let's hope that it's gonna work. We have super glue, hopefully it's still there. So let's cut out this piston. There we go. Give this a little bit of sanding, and in here you can see that there is as well, you know, sort of connection point which would limit our connection to the bottom of the mouse. So there we go. And then the first leg, if I actually thought, you know, just to look at this, I could probably get that piston, part of it at least touching the robot, the build, but yeah, I didn't, so there's no point of crying about that. So 1, 2, that's the connection point. That's gonna be the front, so there we go, leg number 1. Leg number 2, let's try to leave more of this piston, so about here then, hopefully it's gonna work. And again, the same kind of cleanup. Not a very complex build. Yeah, you see, if I left as much, there is actually a connection point, which is nice. Just gonna allow this to have at least one more connection point. So roughly here. Perfect, so that's leg 1 and 2. We're gonna do the same with the third one. Clean up over here. Okay, for this I cut it definitely too short to have 2 connection points. So yeah, but I can still later on use those points to attach some sort of wiring or something, which is gonna be nice detail on the final build. So there we go, one side somewhat done. Now let's try again. So yep, this actually works for this perfectly. So 1, so enough is going to be able to stand on its own 6 legs. 2. Yeah, that's gonna work again. So 1, 2, and add here. Come on, like that. And leg number 3, of course, you know, probably it's gonna be as well too far away, but it never hurt to try. So 1 and 2. Okay, this one actually kind of sort of works. So there we go, the main body of the tank is more or less ready. Let's add the turret to it. Yeah, of course this is not going to be a spinning turret, it's going to be fixed turret because, well, if I want to make it spinning, I would have to use a base for it and whatever, and then I would have to cut this, and I don't want to because it's going to be too much of a massive problem to do. Well, not really that massive, but just annoying. It's easier to cut into this. So yeah, let's just start shattering this poor turret's base and see. How much of a difference it's gonna make. It does make a difference, so that's good. Oh, I did snap a little bit more than I wanted, but maybe that's exactly what's supposed to happen here. Well, I feel like it was a good choice. Yep, when we look at that, the turret actually sits much more firmly on this than it used to before, so let's just try to attach it somehow. And there we go. Nope, like that. Maybe even a little bit more to the front. There we go. And for the front, let's just put that in. And that, and grab the spray. There we go, our spider turret, spider whatever is done for all purposes, but you know, we still need to add some cool gibbons to it. After all, this is a orcish technology. It doesn't exist without cool gibbons. So this is gonna go in here. This is just a yogurt bottle cap. Gonna add that into the back. So, legs and the turret was what I planned so far, yeah? The rest is pure improvisation. Like usually. So then I have those in here, which are again from some sort of a yogurt drink. You know, there are actually two different shapes, so I think that they're gonna use two different ones, just to show that it's a scrap tank. Yeah, so something that orcs just find, you know, somewhere. They find the, what do you call it? They find the scrapyard and they just pick up whatever is in there and just build a vehicle out of it. I think that on Gorka Morka they are actually proper scrap wars, because orcs are fighting over scrap. Sometimes with humans. Yeah, local human population is called Diganopes. And they basically are remainders of a Adeptus Mechanicus, from what I remember, force. Yeah, which landed on Angelus, which was the original name of Gorka Morka. And you know, when the catastrophe happened, they went to the underground tunnels and then dig themselves out after centuries, forgetting that they are actually humans, and now they kind of sort of think that they are orcs. And orcs call them Diganopes. So there we go, that's gonna be a second part of the engine assembly in here. Third part, I mean. Third. I can count. I promise. Well, there's Daka and Daka and Daka. Yeah. So I have Daka, Daka, Daka. So yes, I can definitely count. And let's just add some more. Maybe one in here and one in here. Yeah, why not? Just cram it up. Cram it in. Whatever, after all, I do play the most despised orcs. Yeah, I play the Bad Moon, and you know, they are the richest and the most, you know, swag orcs in the Warhammer 40k, and other orcs are jealous about them because they have faster growing teeth. So yes, they have more of a buying power than other orcs, and they do actually partake in trading. Okay, so there we have a big engine assembly, the turret. There is actually a top for that turret as well. Let's start adding orcish symbols to that vehicle and making it more orcificus, orcificer, whatever, orced. Yeah. Oh, super glue gum. Let's grab another one. And I know that my table looks like mess, but that's always how it happens. Creativity requires mess, at least for me. So yes, let me just do a little bit of a cleanup for that. And let's get back our tank. He needs an orcish glyphs, otherwise it's not gonna look orky enough. And some Diganobs may think it is Humi. So we have one. Let me just see what other glyphs do I have. Oh, bony glyph. That's what we need to cover that hole. Oh, let's bend it, maybe. Nah, it's not gonna work to bend it. Well, we're just gonna put it as it is. It's gonna be just sticking up. So there we have one. And maybe I can fit another one somewhere. Oh, we're gonna make it as a somewhat of a registration plate on the front of it. There we go. So that's the third one. And now we need some random pipes going into nowhere, because this is orc vehicle. Without random pipes, it's not gonna be orcish enough. So just add this and maybe connect it with that leg in here for no particular reason. And then just run it over here. A little bit of super glue here. And again, remember guys, use super glue in moderation. Like I always do, yeah? So I have a couple more ideas for orcish builds for this Orktober, but I was wondering if you have some suggestions. Yeah, maybe you can throw some suggestions at me, and if I gonna find them interesting, I may build that stuff. Oh, come on! See, these really don't want to cooperate with me. I'm gonna stuck my fingers to it first before I'm gonna get this little bit of rubber stuck into it. So yeah. Stay. Nope. It refuses. It is as stubborn as me. Oh, it really doesn't want to stick in here. Okay, let's do this. And now. Okay, and now let's just lead it into here. So it's gonna be connected here somehow. Okay. So as you can see, this piece of rubber today doesn't really work with me. It refuses all of my ideas where to put it. But yeah. And I have one more in here. And maybe just under the turret. Okay, so let's go here. I'm sorry, but that's super glue as well. And we're just gonna push it under the turret. So it's gonna be pretending to connect to the bottom of this turret. Okay, I think that I'm almost done. Let me just clean up this hairy thingy here. That's better. Yeah, so it looks somewhat kind of ish finished. So I'm just gonna go outside, spray paint it, and once the paint is dry, I'm gonna come back and paint it at your eyes, in front of you, yes. Okay, so this is finally dry. As you can see, I just blasted with the spray paint, and I prepared in here 4 different shades of yellow for the from the contrast paints, and I will just try to, you know, apply one, apply the other, see how it's gonna work out. Yeah, like I work as a bad moon, so you know, I think that they are rich enough to be able to afford multiple colors of paint. And as well, we'll see how those paints work with connection to each other. Like this is more orange than yellow. It's gonna be probably the smoothest orc paint job that I have. So you know that when I'm painting, you know, I usually don't talk too much because I'm concentrating for some odd reason. Yep, so let's just go with it. So, you know, the contrast paints, you're supposed to apply them really not very sparingly, just, you know, slap them on. I'm assuming that that's why people call this painting technique with pre-shading and then, you know, applying the contrast paints as slapdash. But let's see how this is gonna turn out. I'm not complaining, you know, it is easy painting. They just broke the piece. Just usual Armstrong. So I have to fix that. Something like that, okay. I don't like fixing stuff during the paint job because then I tend to destroy brushes. And actually I'm gonna just paint the entire thing, including the places that I don't want to have yellow. Yeah, just to see how it's gonna turn out. And then I'm gonna go over it with other colors, those which I want to have there. Yeah, and maybe some of the colors that I didn't want to be yellow, gonna stay yellow then. We'll see. This style of painting really hurts my soul. Okay, so I'm just gonna finish that and then I'm gonna be back with other colors. So as you can see, I did go one step further and I painted the metallic parts that I want to be metallic at this moment black. And you can see, with the mixing of the colors, make somewhat uniform color, with a little bit of splashes of that red through it. So I could probably just paint it with 1 or 2 colors, but whatever. Yeah, now let's just go to the dry brushing. And the most important parts, oh, okay, that's still too much paint, are the legs. They're gonna be very silver. I'm gonna probably fix it with the Nuln Oil. So I haven't worked on something this kind of complexity in a while now. The cars are, I always find them somewhat easy, but the crawlers are a little bit different story. There is always problem with the legs, to get them done right. So there we go. Of course we need to do the cannons, but this is a bit big. Let's just look for a brush. There it is. This one gonna work for the guns. Okay, so now this is done. So as you can see, the what do you call them, contrast paints did left like a wet-ish looking spots around, which are fairly annoying. So what I'm gonna try to do, this yellow that I have in here from Vallejo is kind of chalky. So I was thinking just to do a little bit of a dry brush with that color and see if that's gonna fix the issue. So yeah, hopefully it's gonna be some sort of a solution. Let's try. Let's give it. I don't know whether you can see it or not, but it's definitely dulling out the shininess of the previous layers of colors. So it is fixing the issue that I have with it. I don't think that is a perfect solution, but it is something that is working, which is the most important part for me. And as well, it is kind of a unifying filter for the rest of those mixed up colors. Alright, so we have this done. And now let's dirty it up, because for Orc Vehicle it is way too clean. So let me see, what do we have? Nuln Oil. Yeah, our best friend Nuln Oil. And I would love to have a fan brush, but I think that I killed all of them somehow. So just get something big-ish. It isn't the biggest brush in the world, but it still can take a substantial amount of paint. So I just throw some Nuln Oil on this bad boy. Of course I have oil washes as well, but I really don't want to mess with them today. So this is next thing that's kind of unifying this. I'm leaving those pipes for later on because I want them to be actually standing out, so I don't want to dull them down. The same with all of the glyphs. They're gonna be painted probably black, and only the sticking out part's gonna be showing as metallic. Yeah, so I'm gonna do this all over the tank, and I'll be back to... And of course I have the Nuln Oil spill like everyone else. Yeah, I'll be back to you once I clean it up. So there we have this little beastie finished. I thought that I actually was recording while painting it, but unfortunately I didn't press the button, apparently strong enough or something. So it never recorded, yeah, but this is done. Maybe I'm gonna do some weathering on it later on. But for all the purposes of this video, it is done, yeah. It's been fun getting my old mouse to be something different. If you wonder what I done painting wise, I just dry brush it later on with the chalky yellow color to knock off the Nuln Oil a little bit. Of course I paint this blue, I paint the lights blue, I paint the metallic parts metallic again, and then I use a ink to paint all of the red spots on this. Of course the ink is still wet, it's gonna probably take a couple of hours to dry, yeah, because inks don't dry that fast. But yeah, generally I'm quite happy with how this, you know, conversion of a mouse to a spider tank turned out. So if you like this video, please rate, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, family and whoever else wants to watch it. And everybody have a great day and take care. Bye!